Hey guys, what's going on? It's the Basketball Hut here. So the NBA regular season's coming to a close soon. It's probably gonna be ending sometime around May. And with that, we kind of have a clear picture of how the season's gonna finish, what teams are gonna be in the playoffs, what teams are gonna be in the lottery, and which players are gonna be making the All NBA teams, and which players are gonna be winning the awards. Particularly one award, the MVP, is one to discuss about. And in this video, I'm going to go over 5 players who I think are deserving of the MVP award. Now, keep in mind the list is my opinion. Again, you can have whatever list you want to, but this is just my personal list based on the numbers they're putting up, team success, all that stuff that goes into MVP voting. So, without further ado, let's get into the top 5. All right, coming in at number 5 on our list, we have Steph Curry from the Golden State Warriors. One thing I have to say about him is that he's having a phenomenal year. And if the award was based on individual numbers, then I would put him number 1. He's averaging 30.7 points on the season to go along with his 5.6 rebounds and 6 assists. He's also shooting 49% from the field, 42% from 3, and 92.5% from the free throw line. He has a true shooting percentage of 66.1, which is second among guards who play over 30 minutes a game, and he has a usage rate of 31.5. Yikes, that is incredible. And the fact that Curry's doing this on a team that doesn't have that much spacing makes this all the more impressive. Essentially, he's putting that Warriors team on his back, and he would be the definition of most valuable. Except there's one problem: the team record. This is one of the biggest factors that go into deciding the MVP, and that's whether the player is leading his team to big wins. And usually the award goes to someone who's led their team to a top 2 seed in the conference or whatever. And unfortunately for Curry, his team is battling for a playoff spot. If the playoffs were to start right now, they'd be in the play-in tournament. So unfortunately, while Curry is having a historical season, he probably won't get the award because of that team record, which is disappointing, but unfortunately that's the reality of the award. Alright, coming in at number 4 from the Milwaukee Bucks, we have Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's trying to win his 3rd MVP in a row. And honestly, he's putting up just as good numbers as the past 2 seasons. He's averaging 20.5 points, 11.2 rebounds, 6 assists, shooting 56.5% from the field, 30% from 3, 68% from the free throw line. And he's having arguably his best offensive season, with his offensive rating being at a 117.3, which is for now his career high. So yeah, he's definitely having just as good of a season as his MVP years. The Bucks are still a good team. They're 3rd in the Eastern Conference, I believe. They're still contenders, and honestly, they've been really good with the addition of Jrue Holiday. But the only reason why Giannis won't get this award again is mainly due to voter fatigue. I mean, he's won it for the past 2 seasons, and honestly, I can't remember the last time when a player won 3 MVPs in a row. So it's likely that Giannis won't get the award. He'll be on the All-NBA first team, but I believe that's as far as it's going to go for him. He's probably not going to win the award. And also the fact that they don't have the best record in their conference, which was a big factor to Giannis winning it the past 2 seasons, plays a big role in that as well. So Giannis comes at number 4 on my 2021 MVP race. Alright, coming in at number 3 on our list, we have James Harden. And I think this should be a no-brainer. Harden deserves to be a top 3 candidate for this season. he adapted a new role in Brooklyn as a primary playmaker and still being a lethal scorer. He's averaging 25 points, 8 rebounds, nearly 11 assists, shooting 46% from the field, 36% from 3, and 87% from the free throw line. And keep in mind that he's doing this with two other really good offensive players, Kyrie and Kevin Durant. So all in all, this is very impressive. He went from playing a lot of ISO ball in Houston, but in Brooklyn, he doesn't have to do that anymore because he has two other guys who can create their own shot and take the pressure off of him offensively. So it allows Harden to be more of a point guard, if anything. So honestly, personally, I think he has done such a good job, but I think he won't win the award because mainly he's playing on a super team, playing with Kyrie and Kevin Durant, and usually voters don't like to vote for that, apparently. I mean, usually when a player's on a super team, they don't usually give the MVP, especially on such a stacked team like this. So I don't think Harden will get the award. He'll definitely make the All-NBA first team for sure. But as for MVP, it seems kind of a stretch. Also, he has suffered an injury with his hamstring, which causes him to miss some time, which could be detrimental to his MVP candidacy. But regardless of that, he comes in number 3 on my list, and he has done such a great job with Brooklyn. And hopefully him, Kyrie, and Kevin Durant can lead Brooklyn to their first championships. Okay, we're moving into the top 2, so let's start off with number 2. We have Joel Embiid from the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, I assume by now a lot of you can guess who's going to be number 1, but before we get to that, let's just talk about what Embiid is doing this season. He's currently averaging 30 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, shooting 51% from the field, 38% from 3, and 85.5% from the free throw line. And currently he's having his best offensive season of his career at a 117.5 offensive rating. So it's evident that Embiid is having an MVP season. I mean, he wouldn't be this high if he wasn't. The Sixers, I believe, are the first seed in the Eastern Conference. They're battling with Brooklyn, going back and forth with them. But I think Philly might end up with that first seed. And really, honestly, there's no argument to be had against Embiid for not winning the award, except for one thing. I think that Embiid may not be the most valuable player. When you take a look at the most valuable, I don't think Embiid is it. Now, don't get me wrong, he is necessary for the Sixers team to win in the playoffs, to win a title. But honestly, I feel like the person who I have at number 1 is more valuable than Embiid is to the 76ers. So honestly, I don't think I can put him at number 2. If you want to put him at number 1, I will not argue against that because, again, he's having a phenomenal year. But I think the person I have at number 1 changes everything for the MVP race. So without further ado, let's move on to number 1. Alright, coming in at number 1, the player who I think will win the award is going to be Nikola Jokic from the Denver Nuggets. Let's take a look at what he's averaging first. He's averaging 26 points, 11 rebounds, 8.8 assists, shooting 56% from the field, 42% from 3, 85.5% from the free throw line. He's also carrying the offensive load of the Denver Nuggets, having a 121.4 offensive rating. And I think the reason that separates him and Embiid is the fact that Jokic has been more valuable to the Nuggets than Embiid has been to the 76ers. Without Jokic, the Nuggets are a lottery team. I mean, they might be a bit competitive, but without Jokic, this Nuggets team is lost. Whereas with the 76ers, even without Embiid, the Sixers look somewhat competent. Again, I'm not trying to diminish Embiid at all because, again, he is what makes the Sixers a contender. But even without Embiid, the Sixers are, a solid team. They're not like garbage or anything. Whereas with the Nuggets, I feel like they won't be as good. They will probably be a lottery team, honestly, without him. Jokic has led this team in 4 of the 5 major statistical categories. He's leading them in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. Literally the definition of carrying. Not to mention that after a slow start, his team is now 4th in the competitive Western Conference, whereas the East is very top-heavy, to say the least. So, factoring all this in, I think that Jokic has to be the number 1 player to win the MVP award. Not only does he have the numbers, but he has the good team record, and he literally embodies the meaning of being a most valuable player. He is truly the most valuable to his team. Again, without Jokic, the Nuggets are a lottery team. And again, I'm not trying to diminish that Nuggets team because they got some really good pieces. Mike Porter Jr. has been playing good. Aaron Gordon's been good, defensively at least. Jamal Murray was having a career year before he got injured. And I think that's what's going to be interesting is to see what Jokic can do with Jamal Murray being out. Because, again, Jamal Murray is that second option. He was averaging like 21 points before he got injured. So it's going to be interesting to see what Jokic will do. And, whether he'll average more points, more assists. I think towards the end of the year, that's when it's going to be decided who is the definitive MVP between Embiid and Jokic. So I think that race will be interesting to watch as the season progresses and comes to an end for sure. Alright guys, well with that being said, that's going to be the end of the video. That's my list for the top 5 MVP candidates this season. Again, this is my personal list, so, I get that a lot of people have different opinions on things. Maybe you have Embiid over Jokic, maybe you think Steph Curry should be higher on the list, so, if you want to leave it down in the comments below and I could read them, that'll be very much appreciative, but until then, I will see you guys in the next video. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day and peace out.